Hi everybody, welcome back to Now TV Canada, and I am just a YouTube channel. I am just Jen. So I can tell when Jesus is actively in my life, when heaven is like pushing me and making decisions for me, because of some like radical thing that happens where you can't ignore the sign. So I was complaining about not wanting to spend more money or buy more things in recent days because I had gone over the limit of what I had intended to spend with the new increase on my credit card that I was given for the holiday. I guess because they want people to enjoy the holiday and use it with all the stuff that's available for discounts at things at stores like Canadian Tire. But I didn't do that. I just bought the one mixer stand. But in making the lentil soup, it occurred to me during the recipe time and cooking, which took me 2 days to do. I understood that the stand mixer and my blender is not enough. It doesn't cut it. And you can't mash it with a potato masher. You need to have a long neck hand blender at times for certain things. And making certain kinds of soups is one of those things where you can do it in the pot. What I did made such a mess everywhere. I was constantly cleaning. My shirt was just a single day wear. It was crazy. And the soup took 2 days to make because I didn't go out and get one. I tried on my own. Now, in the end, I did use the blender after the lentils were softened enough, and I added the additional things I wanted in it the next day to make it taste the way I was shooting for. So I'm okay with the soup result that I have now. And when I sit down to eat some of it with my bread, you'll get to see my response then. But this video is just about when it's time to buy yourself new stuff. I was not raised with brand new stuff. I wasn't raised with the ability to have a lot of new stuff or just a lot of stuff. My mom bought me 2 different brand new canopy beds when I was really young at 2 different times, and when it was, I guess, most affordable. When people actually got their rent money back during income tax season, and people could actually file their income tax in December so they could get all that money and enjoy Christmas. Who were like at that line of finances where it borders on poverty. So I've appreciated everything valuable that's been new that I've had. My grandmother bought me a brand new dresser once. And in the end, I sanded that down with care. TLC. Apparently carpentry runs in the family, but at the time that I sanded down the dresser, I didn't know about that part of the family history, and I restained it, and then it got left behind in an apartment that I was living in with another friend of mine from school that we shared together. And I had hoped and prayed that whoever came across that finished dresser after I had done it would be blessed by it, and all the love there was there and the memories and times, and take care of it. So it's still in there somewhere in that city. But now, when it comes to pots and pans and dishes and you're living in certain size spaces, you just can't fill your cupboards in your house with all kinds of stuff. So I have been contrite to be like that one pot Susie girl, one frying pan, and that whole one pot things. So last year, my mom did a very nice thing. I don't get a lot of gifts. Spiritually, I have background reasons for that whole celebration thing. I'm great at giving. I'm terrible at receiving. But at the same time, I don't receive a lot of sentimental, meaningful things. I had a really bad experience happen with my dad's parents when I was young. But my mom bought me this pot that has 2 different levels from a local Chinese store. They sell pots and pans. I'm just in love with this pot. Like, I can do a roast at the bottom, and then I can steam vegetables on 2 different layers, and then put it all in here, put it on, and just forget that it's all there. And then when it's done, the whole meal is finished and it's one dish. Now, I have one pot when you do for smaller portions of soup and other stuff that I have used forever, my sauces and stuff. And you can see this thing's been well used. And I've like muttered to myself, complaining I don't want to replace it. I don't want to get a new pot. I complain about this pan, how many times The frying pan has fallen from this stove and burner and sort of gotten dented, and it's all scratched up, but it's, T-foul, it's blasted me and it's done the job, but it's too big. But the point was the pot. I said, I don't want to replace the pot. And lo and behold, what did Jesus do? Overnight while I'm sleeping, I wake up and the pot lid has crumbled. The rust and everything inside has fallen apart and the screw fell off. And I woke up to that in my sink, because this was the pot I used to make the lentil soup in. And I was muttering about the lid in the pot and not wanting to get a new pot. So you can tell that because we have Boxing Day sales going on, and it's the holiday season, that it's time to give yourself a little self-care and self-love. So you can know that was like spirit guided, that it's time for me to go shopping and get myself a new pot, so that I will be a 2-pot Susie instead of a 1-pot Susie. So I just think it's funny how you can recognize when Jesus is in your life, when there's a spirit-led desire where he's telling me to buy myself more stuff, spend a little more on yourself, buy new things, take care of yourself, right? You're not that little kid growing up in restricted environment of finances where mom could only buy you some clothes sometimes throughout the year. And, get out of the habit of treating yourself like that. If you have a little bit of money, go ahead and treat yourself, take better care of yourself. So I'm relenting. This means I have to go get a pot. So I will go shopping, and I will make some little short vids of the different stores I go to, looking for my new 1 single pot. So then I'll be 2-pot Susie. But I'm trying to do one thing with the new pot, is making sure I buy a lid that fits both pots. So I'm a 2-pot Susie using the same size lid, because this one I cannot use for super hot things for covering, because once that goes on, it doesn't come off. It gets stuck in there. You have to dump the pot sort of angle to get it off. And while I'm at it, I might look at an actual frying pan that fits the burner, so that there's room to have more than 1 pot on the stove when I'm cooking something that requires a smaller pot than that, but more than 1 pot. So that's what happened to me overnight after I was complaining about not wanting to get the long neck hand mixer. So the new pot, the hand mixer, and a frying pan seem to be on the list of things that I'm going to need to do for myself over the coming weeks into the new year. So what I'm going to do for lunch is I'm going to have another bowl. I did have some of the lentil soup when it was in stage 1 of the first day, and it was so good. I'm going to have the finished product with the bread that I made from the stand mixer that I made for the first time. The first loaf is gone. I devoured it. So this will be the beginning of the second one. Now, the first bowl and a half that I had from day 1, where it was just mushed and I hadn't blended it at all, was die for good. You could see the spinach pieces and everything, in spite of the fact that it didn't have the extra ingredients I wanted in it. But when I put it all back in the pot with all the extra stuff and cooked it some more, added some more water, the final touch was just divine. So I'm going to sit and eat this and have some of this before I head out the door and go get my medication from the pharmacy, because they just sent a message to say my prescription is ready, and then go do my 1-pot Susie shopping, so that I have to be a 2-pot Susie girl after that. So I just think it's funny how heaven intervenes when they make a decision for you about something that is long overdue and it needs to be done. And there's the evidence that I was not allowed to keep ignoring, that I needed something new for myself. So there it is. I'm going to get myself another new item to go with my Cuisinart stand mixer and the huge, giant-sized gingerbread cookie iron, cast iron pan that I got. So peace out, everyone. Thanks for listening to my story about me liking to use less dishes. Less is better when you're in smaller spaces. Like, I literally have my bachelor, I'm living out of bags. But that's also because I'm hoping to be packed up and moved to someplace new. And I just want to be ready to get out and go. Because the story of this place and the 3 years I've been here, oh my goodness, I'm so done. So keep watch for the short vids of my shopping for my new items. Grin and bear it, grit my teeth thing, and see what I come up with. And thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a good time with your family. And I'd love to hear some stories about people getting new kitchen items and things and their exploration and fun with those things, and how the results came about in the comments below.